So in this video, I'm going to explain how to calculate each and every parameter automatically. So what we did in all previous videos, we derived the formulas and we try to calculate each and every parameter manually. And what we came to know, it is very time consuming, and sometimes we have to rely on a numerical method also for certain parameter calculation. So for that reason I used all these formulas and the numerical technique, and I put it in the form of code, and I saved inside the Excel sheet in a form of macros, so that when you are done with all the input, you have to just click this calculate button, and then you will able to see all the results that we have already discussed here in this two sheet, which I'm going to come later here. So first we'll discuss the input parameter that you need to define before even hitting this button calculate. So come to this sheet, which is vehicle input sheet, and here you see the first region is the vehicle parameter. So here you start putting the value from, let's say, the gross weight of the vehicle, and then the next curve weight plus driver weight. And you will ask, why this two weight? The reason behind that, the max torque will be calculated from the gross weight, but the acceleration performance parameter will be calculated from the curve weight plus driver weight. The next, you can put all the parameter here: the frontal area of the vehicle, drag coefficient, wheel radius, rolling resistance coefficient, gear ratio, gear efficiency, acceleration due to gravity, and air density. Make sure to match the unit here, else you will end up a wrong value. Now coming to the interesting region, which is the vehicle performance specification. So let's start with the maximum speed. So you just put the value here, how much maximum speed that you want to go in your vehicle. The next region or area is for acceleration performance parameter. So let's say you want to go from 0 to certain speed in how much second. So that parameter we need to define. So here I'm going 0 to 60 kmph in 8 seconds, and that's what I have defined here. So next, coming to the mountain climbing specification. So we need to define the inclination of the road, then you can put that value here. I have put 12.4. You can put your own value. Then distance to climb, I have put here 20 meter, and then time to climb, which is 12 meter. So if you're done with this input, then move to the next region, which is continuous operation or hilly road area. So you need to define what going to be the continuous inclination of the road, and on and typical it will be 5 degree, and at what speed that you want to travel on that uphill road. So I have put 60 kmph here. You can put your own values. Then after come to this region, and this region is all about the driving cycle. For the calculation of the range, we have to put this 4 parameter: motor plus controller efficiency, depth of the discharge of the battery, the regenerative level, and the battery capacity. And then if you're done with this input, you need to define the drive cycle data. So you can go to the link that I have given, and you can explore a different drive cycle from different reason, and then you put this data here. And if you're done with the drive cycle, the last input you have to give this vehicle coast down test, which is the initial speed, and then after you will be slowing down your vehicle. So here I have put 40. You can put your own value, and if you're done with putting all the input, just come here and then hit this calculate. So all the parameter got calculated. So now I want to see the motor specification table. Where do I see that? So you come to this data. So you see the first region that we have it here, the motor specification table. And then the next, this here to here, I use it draw the motor characteristics curve. Okay, which you will find this. So this curve has been drawn using the data mentioned in this region. By the way, you will not able to enter any value in this Excel sheet and in this Excel sheet. If you want to modify, you can modify in this 4 sheet only. So this sheet is not accessible to you. You cannot put any values. Now coming to the next, which is the acceleration performance parameter. So this is the region that you will find parameter related to acceleration performance parameter. So here, let's say I want to go 0 to 60 kmph, then you will see this column will have 0 to 60 kmph and then the time it took from 0 to 60 kmph. So I used this table to plot the graph for this vehicle acceleration performance. So if you see here, we have a 3 graph: torque versus time, then we have a speed versus time, and the power versus time here. So I used this table to draw the acceleration performance graph. Next, you see here the range of the vehicle which is calculated here. So you will see, anyway, you have given a input, let's say for example 20% of regenerative. So here you will get a bunch of option for different regenerative percent. So the first value will be the value that you have put, and the next I have just given the extra percentage to calculate regenerative on this value. And this parameter will be the range with your input value. Here coming to the drive cycle summary, so average speed of the vehicle you will get it, and then here the vehicle operating point you will get it, what is the speed of the vehicle and the gradient of the road, and this will be the operating point of the motor, which you will find what would be the torque and the motor RPM. And now the next thing, this will be the coast down result, you can find it here, and then time to stop you will get it here, and the distance you will get it here. So I use this data to plot a visual graph in this Excel sheet, which is a dashboard you will see. So coming to the first graph, which is torque versus RPM, and which is also a motor characteristics curve. So the peak, you can see the gray line, and for the continuous you can see the yellow line, and you will use this graph to manufacture your motor for your vehicle. Now let's move to the next graph, which is motor power versus RPM. So here you can see the peak power and the continuous power. The next, the vehicle acceleration performance, we have already discussed this, and here you will get the drive cycle summary. So what is the vehicle speed, which is 22.4, what is the vehicle gradient or the road gradient, 0.72, what is the motor torque, 10.7, and what is the motor RPM, 2300 in this case. Coming to the next graph, the cost down test, the speed versus time, you will get it, and here you will get the information of net time that it took to stop. And in the next graph you will get distance versus time, and then this green box you will see what is the distance it took to stop. And this graph is for range at a different regenerative braking. So this is value that I have given, but the value that you will be supplying you will get here, this result here. So you don't have to do anything, you just come here, put all the inputs, and then press the button, this calculate button, and then everything will get updated and you will be able to see the visual result here. Just for your information, you will not able to enter or edit any value in this 2 Excel sheet. It is a password protected region. You will only able to edit this 4 Excel sheet, and then this the first one, the vehicle input one. So with this we have come to the end to overall discussion how to define motor specification using vehicle dynamics. So see you in the next set of tutorial. Thank you.